Good morning, Mayor Dan Pope with a weekly update. Happy Friday to all of you. I don't know about you, but I'm glad it's Friday. We had a great city council meeting last night. We approved our budget. We've worked for, 60 days on it as a council. Staff worked on it certainly a lot longer than that. We've talked a lot about it on these videos. I'm not gonna go back through it all. I'm gonna tell you just a few highlights. It was a 7-0 vote, so the council found a way to get around a budget that we all could support. I believe that budget supports our growth, and I think we would be unwise to not be making those decisions right now. As you know, it continues our pay as you go kind of strategy to the degree possible. The vast majority of our purchases will be made out of cash next year. It also supports our growth in areas like new police positions, more street maintenance, some things that we really need to be able to do, solid waste, et cetera. And finally, it supports the police facilities decision that we made last year, which will allow us to implement our neighborhood policing strategy, 3 substations, a smaller administrative headquarters downtown, a new property warehouse and crime lab, and then finally moving municipal court to some new facilities. Also yesterday and during work session, we got a briefing on libraries and the services we provide locally, and we had a full meeting room for that, which is great to get that information. In October, at our 2 meetings in October, we'll spend a half a day before each one of those meetings in sort of what I would call planning meetings. We've got 15 or 16 topics we've pulled out to talk about. We'll talk about libraries. We're going to talk about swimming pools. We're going to talk about public transportation. We'll talk about the charter. There's just a number of topics that the council said they want to talk about. We'll talk about what our priorities are, how these things fit inside our priorities, and more to come, probably a video in the next week or two just to talk specifically about that. Also at our meeting yesterday, you've probably noticed that we passed the first reading of a bike share, scooter share ordinance. We talked a little bit about that last week. The press around it, I think, has been very good. You can follow that. If you have questions, please let me know. We also passed the first reading of an ordinance that would allow a restaurant owner, if they choose to, and have a patio, they can allow dogs on their outdoor patio. And there's a process that has to be followed there. The state law does not allow that unless we allow a variance. And so we had the first reading of that last night. We'll have the second reading in a couple weeks. We passed unanimously last night. There are a few things we're checking on that we'd like to maybe tweak that ordinance around, but follow that, if you will, closely. I know that's something that's been in the news. 2 more things to wrap. One, we've been the beneficiaries of some much needed rain in the last 10 days, 2 weeks, and then this week the sun's come out, and I think that's good for all of us. It's certainly good for our cotton, and so we're thankful for that. We want to beat Houston tomorrow. That's a big game for the Red Raiders, and I'm thankful for all of you. I'm thankful for your prayers. I got stopped. I think I may have told you this last week, but I was stopped again this week by somebody at City Hall who I don't know. We were riding the escalator up to the 2nd floor, and he goes, "Mayor, I pray for you every day." I really appreciate that. It's a great day in Lubbock, Texas. I'm honored to serve as your mayor. I hope you have a great weekend. Thanks.